Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. This is your go-to podcast for insights on modern healthcare and wellness solutions. I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt, your host, and today we have a very, very special episode lined up just for you. But look, before I tell you all about our very special next guest, I want you to know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms, including our YouTube channel, Dr. BTV, that's the word doctor, DOCTOR, the letter B as in boy, TV, on YouTube, and also on the pages of Good Faith Wellness Center on Instagram and Facebook. So please don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe to help support this program. Now, without further ado, I know we're just a few minutes behind. I want to bring on this next gentleman. I want to drink a little water here so we can get it right, because I want you to know who this is. And he's a part of an esteemed, the one and only, the greatest fraternity in the world, known to man. I'll give you a little hint. There's something about 1906 and black and old gold. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let him tell you all about himself and his bio. Without further ado, my frat brother, attorney, the Mr. Jarrod Mumford himself. I want you to give it to him. Give it to him.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you, doctor.
Right. Man, how you feeling, frat?
I'm feeling good, Fred. Thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. You are a beacon of our community. People tune in. People are engaged. So from all of us, thank you for doing what you're doing for our community.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate that, man. I want to, I think we might turn the gain down a little. You might better turn it down just a little bit. I think it's real. The audio is real hot. Maybe it might be just a volume setting, but it sounds, you're looking good, man. I like that suit color there, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Is my audio good?
Yeah, just a little bit loud, just a little bit loud, but it's okay.
Let me turn it down.
Volume, yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. No big deal, man. It's good to see you. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling great. Us here at the Jarrod Mumford Law Firm, called a home team. We are taking care of our clients, getting things resolved. As of today, we won a verdict, almost $90,000 for a client. So listen, today's a good day, not for me, but for the client and his family. So we're doing great.
You know, I want to, before we even get into that, we want to just put it out there. We've got a few people tuning in. You all come on in and tune in.
Awesome.
Tell me about that, Attorney Mumford. First of all, tell me all about yourself. We want them to hear your bio. Tell this audience, where you're from, what type of attorney you are, what services you provide, all that type of stuff.
Stupendous. And again, thank you for having me. I do appreciate the opportunity. My family and I, we're from the Delta and from Magnolia, Mississippi. Mom's from Magnolia. My father's from Marks, Mississippi, which is outside of Clarksdale. We moved to Jackson around 1986. I'm a graduate of Green Elementary, Powell Middle School, Callaway High School, and of course, I love Jackson State University. Went to law school at Southern University in Baton Rouge, another HBCU. I spent time doing legal work in, of course, Jackson, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Los Angeles, California. So what we do at the firm here is what we do. We handle car wrecks and personal injury claims. When I first opened my practice in 2017, we were a jack of all trades. We did criminal, we did family, anything that knocked on their door, we try to take care of. But in the last 3 years, we have centered our focus to personal injury claims, whether that's be a car wreck, a slip and fall, or medical malpractice. We are solely about 97% of personal injury and injury claims, excuse me.
Awesome, awesome, man. That's quite a resume. So, what made you want to become an attorney in the first place?
I told the story. Someone today, I was having a conversation with one of my medical providers. They asked me the same question. I said, "What made you go into law?" Well, it's very simple. So my mom worked for a judge growing up, and again, we moved to Jackson, and we didn't have any aunts or uncles here at the time. So when I was sick at Powell Middle School, when I was sick at Green Elementary, I had to go to work with her. So her job again worked at the courthouse. So while she was in court handling business with the court, I was in the back of the courtroom laying down from my ailment. So, like I told my medical provider today, I've been in the courtroom literally all my life. So I try to stay away from it. I went to law school later than the normal person would go because I knew that once this path started, this is going to be a lifelong journey. So it's almost like I was destined to go to law school. And one quick thing, I have a lot of family members that are dentists. So when I went to college initially, I wanted to go to dental school, but I made a C in biology too. And I thought, well, that's it for dental school.
That's
So
it
I
for
could go
that.
to law school.
Yeah, that's it for that. Man, that's, yeah, that's quite a story. So,
Right.
how'd you come up with that name? Call the home, because the name of your business is the Jarrod Mumford Law Firm. So, call
Yes.
the home team. Tell us all about that.
Well, every great business has a great motto, a great signature stamp of their business. So, as I matriculated through my practice, I realized that the name Gerard Mumford, only meant so much to so many people.
Mhm.
However, when I came up, and this is my third iteration, I started with before you pay, call Jay, auto rec, I can collect. And so I don't know where I was, but I figured out called the home team. It means several things. One, I'm a JSU alumni, so it's DTHE. So everyone should understand that once they see called the home team, that
Mhm.
I'm a JSU alum, or more importantly, an HBCU graduate. And the home team is what it sounds like: elementary, middle school, high school, college, all within the city of Jackson. So the streets that you go on, I went on. The stores you go to, I went to. So when you telling me your story about your slip and fall in Walmart or your auto wreck on Northside Drive in this street, say, hey, I've been there. I know exactly what you mean. So my familiarity with the city of Jackson helps me give a clear picture to the jury or to the judge of what this accident truly meant, because I lived in that area. I drove that street. So there's a nexus between myself and my clients that really no other lawyer can duplicate.
Mm. I think you made a great point with that. Because not a lot of attorneys can connect with their clients. Sometimes it's just like, this is just another client. This is just another dollar, another payout for me. But you feel, especially what you just said, from being from here, going to HBCU and living in the neighborhood in Jackson, that this is personal for you.
Absolutely. I think the more connections you have with your attorney or your medical provider, the relationship can be stronger and deeper. I don't have clients, I have friends, I have family members. So each client I have, we have some sort of connection. Even if you a generation behind me or before me, we still went to that same dollar store. We still went to that same restaurant or holding ball or blues club. So
Mhm.
that way, when they feel something, I can feel it too. And the more compassion I have for their case, the more money they can make on the back end, the better I can explain it to a juror or a judge.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a quick pause for the cause here. I just want everyone to know, for those of you, this is your first time visiting with us, welcome. You come on in. This is Telehealth Tuesday. And attorney, we a lot of people wonder. They said, man, they asked me, they say, Doc, man, I thought you had a platform called Telehealth Tuesday, but you've had comedians on there, you've had pastors on there, you done got on there and played the grand piano. Now you got lawyers on there called the home team.
On
Uh,
the home team.
yeah, man. And so they're wondering, I thought this was like just a regular health podcast. And when we started off, that was the vision that I had. But then I had some feedback from others, and they said, you know what? There's other types of health. There's spiritual health. Laughter is a medicine, and we all need that, man, because there are so many millions of Americans that don't feel represented by their attorney, don't
Mhm.
have access to an attorney, and let
Right.
alone experience one. or access to a doctor. And then when I've had the three therapists on here, mental health therapists, so many people have been depressed, and in our community, we're just ashamed to
Right.
talk about it. So, but anyway, bringing that back to this is all about our legal health and what options are out there for people, and namely our people. What the things that you provide. So, tell us all about that. What is it that you can do for the good citizens of Jackson, Mississippi, and abroad?
So, we all play a part of a bigger role. When a person are sick, deal with ailments, they see medical treatment,
Mhm.
they see a doctor, they see a therapist, and they try to get their ailment resolved. So, what my field of practice is, well, if someone's hurt you or you're injured due to someone else's mistake, then there's a compensation that comes with that. So, of course, you see the doctor for it first, and you try to get the ailment, the injury resolved as well. However, there's a penalty for harming other people, whether it's a car wreck or whether a business did not take care of their surroundings, they did not protect the parking lot, or they have liquids coming from the air vent or liquids coming from a faulty freezer. When people make mistakes, and more importantly, when people are hurt, there should be some sort of civil penalty that comes with that. Otherwise, businesses can run amok, cars can run amok. So our job is to ail the people with the compensation after you fix them, Doc.
Mm, I got you. So with and kind of with that said, and staying in that same lane,
Right.
what would you say that makes you different from, and no offense, but the ambulance chasers? Because we know that in right here in Jackson, Mississippi, of course we
Mhm.
won't say any names, but
Won't say the name.
there's a very famous person with commercials, and so a lot of people say, man, if they come to you and say, Attorney Mumford, what makes you different than that guy or those guys with all the? I know you have commercials too, but what makes
Right.
you different from, that particular guy I'm talking about?
Well, I think it comes down to relatability at the end of the day. You know, we have the home team advantage. I got that from one of my frat brothers. Said, hey, call a home team with the home team advantage. And that's probably the most accurate thing to answer that question. When you call us, again, we're in Jackson. We go to Hines County courtroom several times a week. We all look the same in there. We all have the same rapport in there. So it's better to go in with some with a familiar face than a face that's not familiar. So, you know, when you talk about your damage, you talk about, accident or injury is not all compensated with medical bills. Hey, I cannot pick my children up like I wanted to. I cannot go to these places like I wanted to because I'm stuck in the house. Or I'm missing my child's promotion, graduation, special event at church because I have a broken leg or broken arm or broken back, or I'm still sore from the accident. So I can relate to those things because that's been part of my community since I've known. So
Mhm.
my relatability would be my first thing. Number two, it'll be a personal connection. When you see the number on the billboard, 601-281-8686, that goes to my cell phone. I answer the
Oh,
phone 99% of the time. If I don't answer, I'll send you a text, say, hey, I'm busy, I'll call you back, or I call them back. So when you see someone else on the billboard or on the radio, there's a 99% chance you will never see them, never talk to them, never deal with. You'll deal with other attorneys or the staff. The first call, the first person you deal with when you call my firm is me. So whether it's a call, whether it's a text, I'm here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I have a personal connection with all of my clients and relatability, a nexus to them. Again, and when you go to the courtroom, especially in Hines County, we all look alike. We all have relatability and nexus to each other. We get the job done.
that's awesome. And let's go ahead and put that on the let's go ahead and put that on the screen there. Let's highlight that, man. That is extremely important. I think that truly highlights what you're saying and sets you apart.
Absolutely, absolutely. And no matter how big our firm is, I could get an answering service. I could hire a company to answer my phone. But at the end of the day, I want to stay consistent of how I got to this point. And that consistency is when they call 601-281-8686, Attorney Martha speaking. And half the time they're like confused, like,
Right? Yeah,
is
yeah.
this an attorney or like, yeah, it's me. Oh, talk to me. What's going on? How
Yeah,
can I help you? So yeah, that is one of my my secrets that I'm giving away. Is relatability and a nexus toward the client at the first stage of an accident.
absolutely. I mean, tell us, I'd love for you to walk us through a case, a typical day when somebody calls that number. Uh, I was going to try to recite it, but you can say,
601
uh-huh,
281 8686.
601 8686.
8686. Yes, sir.
That's real simple. So when somebody calls that number and you pick up, hey, Attorney Mumford, how may I help you?
Right.
Person says, man, I just, I was at a local whatever store, grocery store, and I either had a slip and fall, or like you
Right.
said, something leaked on them or whatever, and they feel like they've been wronged, they've been injured. Can you walk us through, kind of like speed walk us through the case, like what goes on from then, and what do they have to go through to get to the finish line?
So very yes, I literally I get calls all day, old clients and new clients. So the spill I'm going to get you happens even today, probably 4 or 5 times. Hey, it's Attorney Mumford. How can I help you? Hey, again, we got to go through. Is this him? Is this attorney? I saw on the billboard, the radio. And so once we get through that, they tell me their problem. And 90%, I say 90, half the time is an issue that's kind of out of the nexus of our firm. It could be maybe employment issue or a divorce issue, but most of the time, people just want an opportunity to talk. So even when I know after hearing the case, well, this is not in our firm at the moment, I just want to give people opportunity to talk. But let's stay on topic. So, person called me with an accident. Typically, I let them come to the office so I can get a more a direct feel of the case. For
Hmm.
example, I have these cards in my office, so I like persons to tell me what it happened because a lot of times people have, anxiety when talking to a lawyer for the first time, or don't really know the remember or the details of how they explain it. It really doesn't make sense. So I got these cards a few years ago. Said, listen, show me this your card. Tell me what this card did, and they're able to clearly articulate what happened in the case. So from
Hmm.
there, we have an attack plan. First, we have a medical providers we send to. We have a PCP. We send them to give them a referral to either chiropractor or physical therapist, or sometimes orthopedics, pediatrics, or wherever the case leads us. And for the next 6 to 12 weeks, the client is in treatment, and they go into treatment 3 times a day. They don't have to pay any money to show up on time and maximize the opportunity. I tell them all the time, we can win $1 zillion in a case. But if
Hmm.
you're waking up hurt every day, it's all for naught. So
That's
please take treatment very seriously. As you know, as a medical provider,
right. Hmm.
after they get done with treatment, we send something called a demand letter to the insurance company. The demand letter states all the medical bills this person has and what's the financial number to get this resolved. And I would say 97% of the time, the insurance company and I never agree on the amount.
Right.
So we draft a lawsuit and we litigate the case until we get done.
Wow. So would you say that the majority of your cases, like when you review the case, you don't would you say that you don't take a case or accept it unless you feel that you got a strong client and a strong case to win?
Well, no. It depends on a lot of factors. If we're in Hines County, we're in Jackson, I feel that I'm unbeatable here, even when the facts are against me,
Hmm.
because I feel that a 12-person jury, will see the case from my viewpoint than the other attorney. So
Okay.
that the location of the case matters when it's a 50-50, a gray area case. But for the most part, when people call me, I would do try my best to get something. We've had cases where the insurance company denied liability, said, listen, your client's at fault, we're not paying any money. And we got them 6 figures. So,
Wow.
it's never a quick no. It's always, well, let me do more research. Let me get the police report. Let me find out more information on cases that are uncertain. Um, Also, we do tell people no. The facts do not line up, the location and the facts don't line up, and we don't want a person to incur medical bills and then ultimately they get $0. Well, they have to pay that money back to the medical provider. So we don't want to put people in debt just to have clients or risk that. Because again, if the client occurs $20,000 worth of medical bills and the judge denies their claim or they're ruled liable, then they have to pay that money back. And I don't want to put anyone in a worse situation by calling our firm.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say, like the highest, the largest winning sum that you've ever had in your career? Is like, what's
Wow.
that number?
I guess unfortunately, I haven't had that $1 million case yet. And you might see commercials where they say $1 million or $15 million.
Hmm.
Understand, if someone gets that amount of money, there's a likelihood that someone is deceased, likelihood,
Okay.
or someone has lost a limb, or someone is in likely a vegetative state. Okay.
See. Okay.
So any money that's over, a couple $1 million, someone is not only seriously hurt, more likely permanently hurt, and probably can never work again or again deceased. So
Wow.
fortunately or unfortunately, I haven't had that case,
Okay.
but we do proceed. We have a few $1 million plus cases we have in litigation right now. So if
Okay.
you ask me this time next year, I have a different answer. But the,
Okay.
the most money we've in a month, we probably collected maybe close to $500,000 in a month for
Wow.
clients. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. That is amazing, and I'm glad that you outlined that because, like you say, some of the large firms, and then there's one of the firm that's the largest personal injury firm in, I guess, the southeast. And well, I guess but now they're probably one of the largest in the country, but they
Right.
pride themselves on saying that in these huge numbers, and I think that's great that you allowed us to understand that, hey, if somebody's getting over like 2, 3, 4, 5 million, and you get to 50, and I mean, well, 20 million, 50 million,
It
it's a
hurt
lot
bad.
good they're deceased.
They're likely not walking. They're they're not working again. I'm not referring to the financial portion, but
Right.
they are permanently disabled, lost a limb, or of course deceased. So, I don't look forward to having that case because I know no amount of money is going to resolve or aid or make the person whole in this situation. So, only a few of my clients had surgery, but the rest of them are soft tissue injuries or some broken bones, and that was good. So, we're not looking for that crazy amount of money. I'm not looking to retire at 45 or 50.
Yeah.
My passion is doing good work for people. Money is second, third down the line. I can take care of my family and take care of my bills. I'm happy.
Hmm.
But for us, it's really the importance of helping others. That's what drives me and gets me to work every single day.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. So I think that's so important because people that are in our fields, in medicine and law and all those things, they say, man, these guys, man, they're either on TV or people know you. You're like local, celebrities or public
Right.
figures. Most of them drive. If you're doing well or at the top of your game, you're driving a nice car, Mercedes, BMW. They look at
Right.
all those things, but they don't see, number one, the work that goes into it, and then
No.
they don't see, folks like us that truly care about the person and the
Right.
craft. You know what I'm saying? Like the money will come, but you know,
I tell, mentees, people, trying to strive in whatever profession they have. I said, please do not follow the money.
hmm.
Follow the passion and the money will come. I use an alarm clock maybe 3 times a year. Three
Wow.
times a year, I use alarm clock, and mainly because I have to be in North Mississippi by 9 a.m.
Hmm.
or on the coast at a certain time. But I wake up every day full of energy and excited because yes, I'm making some coins, but I get to do what I love every day. And that for me is worth way more than any type of financial compensation I receive. I'm living a dream, and I don't work every day. And helping persons through their car wrecks, their injuries, or slip and fall is passion for me. And secondly, not only am I living my dream, I like to fight. It's not the amount of money that matters to me. We could be fighting over a dollar. I
Yeah.
want the whole dollar for my client.
Yeah. Want the
Period.
whole time.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I could take cases, I can slim a case down to a couple months, if I take a lower amount, but I just cannot do it. And the second insurance company tells me no, that's all I need. Let's go.
With litigation.
That's right. That's right.
My mom, my lovely mother, I put down, if you can see that question there, she said, my mother says, if Walmart has a spill on the floor and puts
Mhm.
a wet floor sign down, are they still liable if I slip and fall? Great question.
That's a great question. So I'm going to answer your question in a more legal sense than a yes or no. So when you have a business and you slip and fall or get hurt in any type of store, okay, the first question is how much notice did the store get that something's wrong? Whether that's an owl on the floor, uh, dog shampoo on the floor, or a couple of cases I had, the air conditioning unit is leaking water on the floor, or the freezer section, the motor went out, so the water is leaking on the floor. In order to sue a business for liability or of an injury, the store did they have notice? Meaning that how long has the spill been there? How long has this aisle been dirty, or how long have these things been on the floor?
Hmm.
For example, I got a call yesterday, and a lady said she slept in a floor at Walmart. I said, "Well, I'm sorry about that, ma'am. Hate to hear that. Let me ask you a few questions. Question number one: did the spill look fresh or old?"
Mm.
Said, I don't know. I said, okay.
Mm.
She was in the fruit section. I said, did you see grapes, like squished grapes on the ground? Meaning that other foot traffic has been in that area.
Mhm.
That so if the business should have enough notice, well, I'll take that back. If the business should have known about the spill or the whatever's on the ground, then you can sue Walmart or any other company. Now, to answer this question directly, if the customer had noticed, meaning that I see this problem ahead of me, I see that this a 10-foot hole in the ground with tape
Mm.
all over it, do not go in, and I decide to go in myself, then you are taking a risk by doing that. And if you're taking a risk, 9 times out of 10, it's not recoverable because you had noticed that this floor is wet. You had noticed that this is a don't go in area. So if you go in, you go in on your own risk, and there will be no recovery for taking unnecessary risk.
So, so if they have the sign, and you ask the client, well, was there a sign? What if the client says, well, attorney, I just can't remember. All I know is I was in the produce section, as you said,
Right.
and I'm going over there, looking at the grapes or whatever, and I
Mhm.
I turn around or somebody call my name, one of my neighbors or somebody from church, or call my name, and I say, "Oh, hey, what you doing in here?" And turn around, boom, slip, and I get
Right.
up, and it's a slippery substance, and I'm hurt. All my side is hurt. I done messed up my elbow. So they don't
Yeah.
see the sign. They don't know. So where do you go from there?
Again, question one, if the store had noticed, so clearly had noticed because there's a sign up. Now, if you're walking distracted or intentionally kind of not paying attention about your path, then again, that's a way to minimize your claim or lower your claim or get it denied. Uh, Companies do want to pay, insurance companies reluctantly want to pay. However, if you're not doing what you need to do in order to protect yourself, I cannot drive down the street with a blindfold. And even if someone hits me, why do you have blindfold on? So you have to protect yourself. You have to be somewhat a good steward of your space in your area while negotiating through a store or traffic. So we try to educate as many people as possible that a slip and fall or a car wreck does not automatically equal dollar signs. We have to be smart, and we have to make sure that we're vigilant in our surroundings, and once we do everything we're supposed to do, we're walking straight ahead, we're or in our lane at a moderate speed, not doing anything erratic, and someone still hurts us, oh, we can get all the money we can because we can show that our client did not do anything to contribute to this accident. They was good stewards of their space. They negotiated well. So because of these things and your client's at fault, show me the money.
Okay. So, what would you say is like maybe some of the more difficult cases that you have? Like, what makes the cases that you take? What makes them more difficult?
You know, um, for all lawyers, pre-existing injuries make cases a little difficult. If you had a history of, let's say, your shoulder being dislocated pretty easily for whatever reason, right? Your right shoulder, and then you get an accident, and guess what you say? My right shoulder's hurting. Well, now we have an issue. How much was your shoulder hurting prior to the accident, and what's new hurt? And so the fight's going to be what's the new hurt versus the existing hurt. So that's the issue that happens all the time. We have something called discovery questions when we're filing a lawsuit. The insurance company sends us 50 questions, and we send the insurance company 50 questions. And
Okay.
the number one question every single time, please list your past surgeries, your past medical visits, medical doctors, and your pharmacy because they want to see, well, we understand that you hurt. We understand that we could be at fault for this accident, but how much hurt is the question. What new injuries did we cause? We could have exacerbated some injuries. Yes, we're fine with that. But if you had a right dislocated shoulder all the time, then how much does that really cost? So those cases are more difficult because we have to deal with again pre-existing injuries and trying to prove that yeah, she might have had back pain before, but this is a new back pain. This is she never experienced this much back pain. And
Mhm.
so those are the more difficult cases. And again, those cases tend to be less difficult, more difficult in the venue that we're in or
Mm.
the county or city we're in.
Okay. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to know, quick pause for the cause. We are live. We are here with attorney Jarrod Mumford. Call the home team.
That's
We are,
it.
yes, Telehealth Tuesday. I want you all to know now, this is not only just a discussion here with attorney Mumford and myself. This is open to the public. We love to have audience participation. We want your questions. So come, this is the time. Look, this is basically like, can I say this is a free
Consultation.
consultation? Is this a free consultation?
601-281-8686. You can call text me anytime, any day.
281-8686. I got the number now. So we
And
want y'all.
listen,
Yes.
when I was looking for a number for the firm, I wanted a number or sequence of numbers. One, I wanted, all ones, all twos, all threes,
Hmm.
and that wasn't available. And the next thing is I need to find a number that's easy to remember. And out of the literally, I say 70 numbers I looked up, I
Hmm.
said 281-8686. I wanted some sort of sequence or
Yeah,
consistency of the last numbers, 8686. Just remember 281. So, everything is not by chance. There's a thought that goes into everything we do because we represent my brand, my company, my staff, my family. So we took great pride in finding that number. And I agree with you. It's a very easy number to remember.
that's excellent. Well, we wanted y'all to know. I'm going to take another question here, but we are here live and for the next 25 minutes.
Let's
We have
go.
attorney Jarrod Mumford right here with Call the Home Team, and he is here to take your questions, take your comments, concerns. This is a consultation essentially. Uh,
Yes.
so
Very
if,
concentrated.
that's right. So if you've been injured, you had a slip and fall, you've had somebody in your family injured, your grandma, your cousin, whoever. That's an unfortunate circumstance, but
Right.
this is the man that's going to defend you. This is the man that's going to get you what you are rightfully owed. So,
And I have a question for you. I'll tell the audience one thing that makes our firm special is trial by fire. When I stepped into this game in 2016, 2017, I really didn't have a lot of mentors because I just moved back from California. So I went to law school in Louisiana and I left law school in Louisiana and moved to California for a number of years. So when I got back, really didn't know anybody, any other attorneys that was able to mentor me so I could know, what was going on. So when I say trial by fire is, so I tried everything in the book to
wow.
be successful or to file this, to do it this way. And every judge said, no, this is wrong or deny my motion. But luckily, some judges said, listen, it's denied, and I'll tell you why. And they'll give a list of things I need to do next time I file a motion or my next case. So through that hitting of the head or the trial by fire I've experienced the last 10 years, I'm well equipped. I know what's a yes, I know what's a no. So when I give you my opinion, it's not based upon what I think, it's based upon the 10, 20, 30 instances I've been in a situation. So there's a lot of cases or calls you make to other attorneys. They might agree like it's a low hanging fruit. It's not might not be a good case. Call the home team today because that case you have, that uncertainty you have, call me because I've been through it 5 years ago, so I can get you to the promised land.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome.
So my question for you is,
Okay, go ahead.
when I first started practicing law, I try to contact doctors so I can work with them to send my clients that way. But some doctors were very reluctant to work with the attorneys. So what is it about working with attorneys that some medical providers are apprehensive about?
You know, I, I, I think that for most of us, we're always thinking about medical malpractice and stuff. So it's like anytime you hear attorney, you just kind of, and it might even be for African American people, getting nervous, like, like when the police are called and, you know, the local doctor, the local cop or law enforcement person or attorney, back in the day in the 80s and 90s, used to be somebody that you revered, respected. They were people in your church, in the
Right.
community. And it's so different now because in this climate where, Black African Americans are being disproportionately, placed in jail and killed and all that kind of stuff. So that's why there's the issue with the police and then with attorneys. For doctors, you're thinking about, man, I just think it's almost like he's an attorney and you're thinking like, oh, bad omen or something. And so, you know, that's just, my opinion. Now, me personally, I don't feel that way. And especially because it depends on the type of attorney, like in your field. And if you're utilizing a doctor as an expert witness or just, somebody to do a physical exam and give recommendations. I mean, for me personally, it doesn't bother me, but I guess some of them, and especially if a person has been sued or been through medical malpractice, then
Mm.
yeah, probably it might be some triggers or something like that.
Understood. I used two experts yesterday, so I do understand. I get it. I get it.
Awesome. My mom has a follow up question. She says,
Sure.
"Are most or all of your cases taken on a contingency basis?"
Yes. Yes. We don't collect any money from our clients at any point. The services, the phone calls, the emails, the text messages are free. You would never pay us a dime until we win your case. So call 1, call 10, call 30, call 100, or text 15, text 20, or however long the case may be. You don't pay us a dime out of your pocket. We take care of your medical bill. So even when you go see our providers, all you have to do is show up and listen to the medical providers to get, maximal results. So there's no money until we collect your case. So whether that's 6 months, a year, or 2 years, there's no money exchange with us at any point. It's free unless we collect for you.
Awesome. Awesome. See my brother Charles there. Peace and blessings, man. We appreciate you joining.
Yes.
We appreciate you joining. Um, well, that's definitely a good thing because I know a lot of people will probably be concerned about that, and this climate when we've got a new administration and a lot of people are being let go and being laid off. So people,
Right.
and then it's like you get in an accident or a fall after that. Man, there's no way I can pay up front for an attorney. So I think that's great information for people to know. Yeah. Let's see here. See if we got any. Let's see. I see a couple other people have joined. Welcome to Telehealth Tuesday.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. So go ahead and ask your questions here. We've got another 15, 20 minutes. We're here with attorney Jarrod Mumford live in the building. And so he is here to answer your questions, whether it's a car accident, slip and fall, or accidental spill or liquid, whatever the issue. This
So I would like to tell your audience that some people are reluctant to hire an attorney when they get hurt. I get calls. There was a multi-person accident, meaning that multiple people are in the car. So one person will call me and say, "Hey, I was involved in an auto accident on 220." I said, "Great. Were there anyone else in the car with you?" They said, "Yeah, a friend of mine, or a friend in the back, or a sister or brother." And I called the brother or called the sibling, said, hey, I represent John Doe. Would you like me to represent you as well? And this is what we can do. Get you a lot of money. The other party has insurance, so there's a guarantee of money, and you get some premium medical treatment or medical care because the medical team is really good and they're really professionals and experienced and get you well for this accident. And some people say, you know what, I'm good. I don't need an attorney. I'm not that hurt. Well, fine. I respect that. But then a week later, the pain starts to get worse. 2 weeks later, it's getting worse. A month later, you cannot sleep properly because you did not get this extra energy from this auto accident out of your body. So even that, if that month turns into a year, the year turns into 2 years, you have a 3-year statute of limitation in the state of Mississippi, meaning that the accident happens on January 1st of 2022. You have to 2025 of January 1st, of course, to file that lawsuit. So I just want to tell people, just because it's been 6 months or a year and a half, do not mean you have to continue to suffer with your ailments. Maybe it's a neck or back or a knee issue. You can get help. You can get some really good medical treatment and put a lot of money in your pocket. So again, if you're hurt, think you hurt. Or you know what, that accident, I missed a week of work. I missed a couple days of work. I missed going to the JSU game that weekend because of the accident. All those things are recoverable. The loss of enjoyment of life. I cannot do the things I want to do. I can't hike like I wanted to. I can't go to the gym like I want to for the next few months because I'm still sore from this accident. All of those things are recoverable, not just the broken foots or the cracked rib. Anything that took you away from the life you had before the accident is recoverable. Here at the Jarrod Mumford Law Firm, call the home team. We maximize those cases, we maximize the opportunities by getting statements from your friends, statements from your pastor. Hey, I'm used to seeing Miss Jones at church every Sunday, but since the accident, she's not there. you know, because of that, she can get in the car and drive to church every day. Well, that difference in life has an economic and a conversational value to it. So again, I'm letting all my secrets out. So if you're one of those persons that experience an injury, slip and fall, auto wreck, or maybe even a workers' comp issue, and you're missing life, missing going to the game, missing anything, give us a call. We can help and get you some compensation for that lost time and lost enjoyment of life. 601-281-8686.
8686. That's right.
8686.
That's right. That's right. Well, come on and ask your questions and comments and concerns because we are here for you. We're waiting for. So just a few other things, wanted to ask about. So you were talking about I think when we first started, you talked about a verdict. Was it a verdict that you got just today for your client?
So yes. So I won't give out too much about it because things are not complete yet. But
Absolutely.
yeah, we had a trial yesterday. And again, we had experts come in. We had to explain why the current pain was there versus the long term pain. So we have our different things we use at our firm to separate ourselves from the pack. People see my billboards, they hear my commercials, but it takes real money to have that type of marketing. In order to have real money, you got to be successful in what you do. So we're not, out here giving out false advertising. We know what we're doing because again, I hit my head 1,000 times reaching for excellence, trying to be great in my field. So one yesterday, and based upon my experiences and things that I brought to the table, not just me having a law degree, but the time I spent in this office. And I got here Sunday afternoon just to prepare for the trial, and I left Monday morning at 5 a.m. That's the time dedicated to be great, and that's what we're gonna do for your case when we get yours.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Is there a waiting time to get in with you, or when they call that number, they can go ahead like right there? Is it for the consultation
Yes,
right there?
I got a call this morning at 7:34 a.m. At 7:34 a.m. Someone called and had an accident. I believe it was a slip and fall, actually. So from there, I was on the phone, get in the truck, head to the office, asking questions. Told them my staff would call them after 9 a.m., and they did. So there's no waiting period. If you call me tonight, we can talk about your case, talk about your options, and I give you my best opinion and best, synopsis of the case. And if things are lined up, we get you started. We get you in treatment probably the following week. Since this is Tuesday, we probably get you in treatment by Friday. And if you have a rental car that you need to get, you get in an accident, the person's hit you and the car is disabled, or the car's in the shop, we get your rental for a couple of weeks while your car's being repaired. So
Mm,
we're a total personal injury firm that takes every portion, not only the bodily injury, but the property damage, the lost wages, the again loss of life, loss of enjoyment of life. So we're just really here to be a beacon for our community. It's not about the money at all. It's about getting people in the best position possible after following an accident. That's what we're doing.
so, so when you say with the rental car, so do you have like agreements with the car company, or is it a letter that you write or something you have to file so they can get right into?
Sure. So most of the time, we can liability of an accident is pretty simple, pretty obvious. A person got rear-ended, or someone ran a red light, or anything like that. When liability is kind of determined, pretty early, the insurance company wants to repair the vehicle of the injured party, which would be my client. And so, obviously, if a person has a vehicle that's in the shop, we need to get rental coverage. So, on those times, they'll send my client to Hertz or Enterprise, and the money will come directly from the insurance. Sometimes the liability is not for certain. And guess what? The client still needs to get to work. The client still needs to pick up their children. So under those circumstances, doesn't happen a lot. We use our personal money, our firm money, to give a person a rental car until we can get something worked out. Life does happen, but we have to be in a position not only to collect from our clients, but get back to our clients. So we might do that, and other firms do not do that. Give a person rental cars for a couple of weeks while we try to negotiate who's at fault. So there's no agreement generally with the rental car companies. We rent cars like everyone else. We might they might give us a free upgrade every now and then since we turn the cars in so on time.
Okay.
But we do the same thing. I call and credit card with phone and tell the client get the car. We get proper insurance, of course, put it in their name, and we just move forward. That's so no special deal other than we just know who to call at this particular place to get things done a little bit faster.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And then you talked about with the so with the physicians, do you are they expert witnesses of the case, or a lot of times they'll come in and see the physician, and for example, a chiropractor, physical therapist, kind of that's all part of the processing.
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of trials in our firm. Not because we're scared, not because of anything other than they see the difference in our work in our firm. So once they realize that I'm more than likely going to prove my case in trial, I'm more than likely going to get a high verdict in my cases, they typically give us the policy limits or 98% of them. So when I do have a case, this a trial is very rare because we're used to winning all the time. However, we always prepare for trial, even on the beginning of the case, that we never know. So my medical team they're all in Jackson, um, and so we send them there. We all have an agreement with the physician or the medical provider of how we want to pay them. So we don't want to get the client anything to worry about other than her treatment or his treatment and feeling better. So we do have agreements with certain medical providers to allow my client to come in, get treatment and walk out the door with no problem. And that was relationships were built over time and with trust. So I had to start with one client before I sent 10 over there. And so we have a good relationship with our medical providers. And so we're able to do things that other firms can't do or do things faster than other firms can.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. We've got another question here. To what extent do you believe that prejudice exists in the courtroom today? Hmm.
Wow. That's a good deep question.
Great
And
question.
I'm a personal injury attorney. That's all I am. I'm not a political person. I think prejudice may or may not exist in every walk of life. There's always a person that may not like the color of my my coat or may not like my suit. That could be considered a prejudice. However, we have to, you know, learn to adapt to every type of situation, whether it's someone being prejudiced us or against someone not being prejudiced us, and stay focused on the goal. So when I go in courtroom, when I prepare for court, when I do anything, whether it's in Jackson or anywhere, I like to put my best foot forward. So regardless if you are judging me or not, I look presentable, and I want you to understand how I feel about myself on the inside. So I tell my clients, there's no dress code for most things, but be presentable. We don't want anyone any reason to cast any type of negative connotation on us. So at all times in the courtroom, especially, it's a very formal place. Look your best, and people will treat you, how you treat yourself. And so it's important that we always look presentable and that we look at a very modest and very transparent way so the judge or the jury can see us clearly for the person that we are and not anything else to distract them from that.
Awesome, awesome. Let's see here. I'm gonna refresh this. I feel like something else rolled in here. Usually,
Sure.
we have at the last minute, we'll have like they'll kind of flood in. They've been a little more quiet tonight, but
Over
usually,
here.
very last minute, they'll flood in like at 8 o'clock. It'll be like where you're wrapping up and saying, "Well, you can reach me here." We can,
I
so yeah.
understand.
Let's see here. I think we got them all there. Okay. So what time is it? 7. Oh, I guess we are at close to at the end. I know we started a few minutes late. I'd love for you to tell us and tell the audience, so again, just for those who join later or who may be new to Telehealth Tuesday, tell us, what, just one more time, who you are, what services you provide, where they can find you, that famous phone number and slogan, just give it all.
Sure. Again, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have this opportunity to be on your show, on your platform. Again, I want to thank you again for this opportunity. My name is Jarrod Mumford of the Jarrod Mumford Law Firm. Call a home team. We're your community lawyers here in Jackson, Mississippi, downtown Jackson. We're here to help you through any of your personal injury needs, no matter if that's something small or something catastrophic. We're here to help you every step of the way. You don't get two lawyers. You get me. When you call my firm, the first person you speak to is myself, and I am trying to provide the best service for each one of my clients. I don't take no for an answer, and whatever the maximum amount of money we can get, that's my goal. My goal is to make you whole. They hurt you due to someone else's negligence or someone not paying attention. Because of the injury, you've been at a disadvantage for the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months, or maybe last couple of years. So our job is to get to financial compensation. We can't make everything go away, but at least we put a lot of money in your pocket to kind of soothe your injuries. So again, my name is Jarrod Mumford of the Jarrod Mumford Law Firm. Call a home team. Our number is 601-281-8686. If you need to see some billboards, we're on County Line, West Street, Publication, Bailey Avenue, 55, 1820, or you can hear one of our commercials on 99 Jams, 107.5 or 95.5. We're here to help. We're here to serve.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's see if there's anyone. I was going to give it like maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes to let another question roll in. Let's see.
Absolutely. Again, thank you for the opportunity. I don't take anything for granted. I don't take um, any opportunity for granted. So I want to make sure that you get your flowers, and not only for me being on the show, but the platform you allow people to be on your platform. So again, thank you. I appreciate it. And again, keep up the good work. And we're real proud of you. 06.
I pre 06, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, I really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. It's it's like I say, we're out there just like you. This is a ministry for you, and it is for me too. Trying to
Right.
get back to the community. We don't get paid for this. That's why I was going to bring a couple of I guess somewhat. Well, I had my good friend Glozell, the comedian, on there. She's got like 5.5 million YouTube followers, and but I had a couple other folks on there, and I had a pretty famous person who was going to come on, and they were like, well, we need a $500 incentive or something like that. And I said, look, listen, we don't get paid. Matter of fact, for the platform, it costs to run this platform. So
Of course. Of
yeah,
course.
So I
Of
said, we
course.
got to stop it there, brother.
And you call me anytime. We're here to serve the community. That's why, we're part of our grad chapter. My goal now is to give back as much as,
For
we give
sure.
give service out. So I'm
Yeah,
really passionate about our community. I'm passionate about helping us and getting us to the next level or, helping us in any way possible. So I do appreciate, again, your platform and allowing us to be on here. So we're always available to you for anything you want to do. Just FYI.
I appreciate that, man. There's our frat on there, Driscoll. What's going on, brother? Yeah, good to see you, man. Thanks for your support. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us at Telehealth Tuesday. And again, we want to extend our sincere appreciation to my good frat brother, my friend here, attorney Jarrod Mumford. And so let's go ahead and let the audience give it to him. Give it to him.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So we'll stay behind as soon as when we come off, man. If you'll just kind of hang on, we'll mute the mic and we'll stay on afterwards.
Yes, sir.
So all right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for watching another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. As always, we love our fantastic audience participation each and every week at 7 p.m. Now, next week, we had something else lined up for you, but I think just because of where we are in the world, where we are with the administration, how that's affected so many people, I want to have a special talk about not just mental health, but it's specifically on African American men and how that affects us in relationships, how we work, how we worship. That is so important. And so we're going to change up the schedule a little bit. We'll make an announcement and we'll put the flyer and everything out a few days ahead. So stay tuned for next Tuesday at 7 p.m. So with that said, we hope you'll join us. 7 p.m. next Tuesday, Dr. B TV, DOCTOR, the letter B as in boy, TV on YouTube. Bring a friend with you. Don't forget to subscribe. Again, not just talk about it, but be about it and subscribe. So, God willing, we'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. right here. This is the place where we treat and discuss mind, body, and soul. And remember, as always, true wealth begins with good health. See you next Tuesday. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today. And remember, true wealth begins with good health.